All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. Yesterday was an absolute snoozer, and today was absolute carnage. My goodness, we woke up to a ton of things. The market gapped down like 25 points on the SPX. It even wasn't that bad with how we closed, but we woke up. There was bad China news. Their economic data was even worse than expected. The China data was so bad that even with all this rally, you had people talking about a global slowdown just because China is missing so hard. And to give you context, just don't forget, it was the beginning of the year. A lot of people were saying, even myself, I was believing it towards one point. It was saying China was going to rally. So it's very interesting now. We do got BABA earnings later in the week, but that was a big deal. That started us off in the morning, but not only did you get that, you had another surprise action from a European central bank or government source. And what happened today, they announced in Italy that out of nowhere, there was no discussion. Anytime you've ever heard the keyword I'm about to share with you, they discussed it in the past. They just woke up today and announced it. Although this can be voted on, the Italian government said, we are going to implement a windfall tax on banks, meaning if you make more than 5 to 10% than your 5 to 10 year average, they're going to charge you 40% tax on that additional amount that you made. It is a windfall tax. Like I'm saying, you probably heard this during the energy stuff with Europe and electricity, if you remember that all last year, but there was discussions about it. We woke up and that's what happened. Just like yesterday with Germany, notice the trend as all the yields are going crazy, but there was that. And then the final thing in the morning, this is the cherry on top. And I'm telling you, there was a lot more. There was even earnings out of several different companies. I think there was International Flavors, and there was another big one in the morning. I'm blanking on it now, but the news that came out was that Moody's had lowered the credit rating on 10 small and mid-sized banks, and then they even warned that there's bigger banks literally PNC and even Capital One. They said they could even get a downgrade too, but they lowered the credit on U.S. banking. And now Moody's is not Fitch. Fitch was the one that downgraded the credit rating last week on the United States, but remember, Moody's is the only one with a AAA rating left on the U.S., and they came out today and they downgraded these banks, and that added pressure to the regional banks. They dropped 3%. They were still down 1.5%. They had a bounce, but it kind of woken up some of those animal spirits of the central banking fear, and now even tying it into the downgrade stuff. But Chad, this is what all happened in the morning. We had the gap down. We sold off. We hit another new low level. We started to enter again. I think in the last 2 weeks, you went below 44 or just right above 44.50. We still haven't gone there, but it's been going slow. This is another new level, but like we've talked about, you're still kind of in this range, and this is what we were saying along the lines of do not panic just yet. So we still got a lot of other stuff. There was a lot of other earnings after the bell, so I have a lot of plays for you. We're going to talk about that, but now it's very simple moving forward. It is going to be about the CPI on Thursday, but like I brought up with the bonds, I think how we react when certain global bonds reach certain levels, I think that will be the big mover of anything. However, what we're seeing today, it's there's a lot of news and surprise things building up. Maybe the CPI is just the excuse to kind of release some of the tension, but that's what we're going to find out. Don't forget about Powell, but that's just the intro. So like the video, drop your thumbs up, and if you don't know, we're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/The Stock Market. It's free 99, and you could hear me just honestly, I just yell at you to save 10% and invest in high quality long-term investments. Sometimes I come up with really good trades, and if not the Chad, bro, you should watch them Chads in the chat. You see that? Yeah, okay. But anyways, as far as everything else, Chad, it's really not much to talk about. Like I'm telling you, it's boiling down to the CPI. We have a very simple breakdown, and what I want to bring up, and this is what I'm saying, shout out to the Chad, baby. We were talking about this today and the impact of CPI and just what's going to be important. So I'll share with you my theory. Tomorrow's going to be Wednesday. CPI is going to come out Thursday morning. We're going to have a bigger earnings like Disney and then BABA in between there. So we're either going to move a little lower to the key level or the lower end of the range, or we're going to kind of recover. So not too much to worry about, but the breakdown of the CPI should be very simple. Now, as far as tomorrow and what you're going to get, mortgage application data, more oil data as well, and then a bond auction, aka nothing. So maybe people will react to this stuff, but if anything, I think it's just going to be carry on, or maybe no news is good news, but Thursday CPI, this is going to be the big deal. Now, there's two things. I already talked to you about the headline going back up, and people expect that core is going to stay the same. But now here is the other debate that is going to be important, and it is the question, has core inflation bottomed out, or is it still going? So there's many ways, and the wording could get confusing around this, but it's just very simple. This is core inflation, just like headline inflation. We've watched it come down month over month for almost 12 months consecutively. Now, headline includes food and energy. Core is excluding food and energy. And this is where people are saying, yeah, headline has came back to 3%. It's closer to the Fed's target. But if you look at core inflation, this has been sticky. That's why they blame real estate, all that. Again, I'll start sounding like Powell if you really want me to. But here's the simple debate going on. Does this keep dropping rapidly, and does it begin to decline heavily? And you see you're going into very high comps, so that should be able to happen. But the other worry is that when you look at this chart, if this does not continue to go down and we kind of start seeing it bottom out and it's slow like the other times we've seen, then that's not going to be good. If it rises up rapidly, that's what's going to scare people. What's most likely going to happen if it would be negative, it just kind of starts stalling out. Does that bring the market down? No. It's just going to make everybody say, well, wait till the next one. That's why we got another one coming up. So that's where I'm saying we got to watch out for this. But the whole is core bottoming out? Is it still continuing decline? Is it leveling out? This will be of importance. But now to my theory, I'm thinking it's just still all about the bonds and everything we've been seeing. And even then beyond there, it's not just America, it's what's going on overseas. I don't think it is a coincidence that Germany is surprisingly getting rid of certain things related to their interest rates when their bonds are breaking a level. Again, that increased bond demand in Germany. Now the Italians are saying, well, we're going to tax you if you hold too much money, make too much on interest. Again, interest, that's related to bonds. So it's just there's a lot of things going on here. And like I'm saying here this whole time, I'm just trying to figure out, do you want to panic now or wait till after the CPI? And again, are they waiting for Powell or not? But one thing I've been saying, anything, is it it's going to rally and rep, it's going to die? I don't really believe any of that right now, and I've said it, the real big, meaningful move above levels, maybe a squeeze could happen right underneath my nose, and I don't see that one coming if it's an aggressive one. But the way I'm looking at it, man, any real shift up or down as we start to work this out towards the end of the year, it's going to either really be accompanied by the data, or you just mainly, the main point, don't screw the data, if anything, but just focus on Powell's shift and a central bank. Go look at these banks and all these governments around the world. You want to watch that shift if there's going to be a real shift. Otherwise, people like what's in the pool. They just chilling with the temperature. I hope that makes some sense, but that's what I'm trying to outline here. So I think CPI is going to have importance only if it surprises by 0.5% or more. If we're not getting any big moves above and it's not clear cut and it's two good, one bad, this is everybody reading between the lines. Like I said, the market has two levels it could work from. It could keep from here to here and hold that, or it breaks down a little bit more and then we see how it's there and how people react to everything else around there. But this is still extremely elevated. It's not bad. You did good. It's not as if coming down to 4,300. This was a support level near the highs of 2021 leading into 2022. So it's you can move around a lot here, but unless we get a big move on the CPI, I still think we got to follow that schedule. So Chad, hopefully that helps. It's getting excited though. Again, just all the news and data we're waking up to is very wild. We'll see how things are at when it gets more summertimey and the earnings wrap up. But for the most part, a lot of action, and I'm sure even the rest of August and September will continue to provide. So let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, I made a lot of plays today. I cut that BioMarin, and then it ran another $1 at the level I wanted, but there is 3 different plays I want to focus on. So, I guess I will start with, I don't know. I got a bunch, actually. I got MPW, Lyft. We have, not international, not IEF or international flavors, but Celsius. That was a great earnings. There's VKTX, and I think that's where I'll leave it, but let's start with Lyft. After hours, they had good earnings, and then I can link that into Celsius. But Lyft, they reported they did better than expected. Like, they were expected to report a loss, amongst other things, and just spend a lot more money. It's not like they had too many more passengers, but they did a lot better than expected, and now they're interestingly trading at the earnings level from where they did bad that last time, and then they got sold for parts at like $7 there. So I made a play for flip shares after hours. Again, we've talked about this for the long term. I like it for parts at like $8, $9 maybe, but $8.7 is a great price, I think, there. But I want to make a flip on it. I think the earnings were good. It was up 20%. It came down. I made one flip, made $400, got out of it. Then it came down to $11.40. I bought 500 shares, still holding that. We're down like, what, 60 cents a share on that? So kind of good, kind of bad, but we'll see where it's at. I thought the earnings were good. Going to watch how that plays out tomorrow. Uber and them had momentum too, so keep your eyes out for that. And then the next play, MPW. So, like I said yesterday, for the long term, we are not touching this at $7.99. I did decide to go ahead with flip shares. So, like I said, I will make my decision based on the earnings and how we feel. I said this could be a potential squeeze, or it could potentially die, and I don't think it did any of that. It did go down 13%. Do I think that was death and relevant or representative of what should have happened or why this stock was sold off in the past? Oh, no. That's exactly why I bought it. So I wanted to take advantage of this. I went with the play. I have like 2,000 shares. I got in at like 880, then 860. My average is at like 872 on 10,000 share or 2,000 shares. But my plan with it is I'm going to buy if it goes down to 840. I think it can. If it goes below 840, I'm going to get blown out on it, but I do plan to hold. And this is what I said. I'm going for the flip. I think there will be volatility even beyond their earnings. I think they got dragged down because of the regional banking stuff today too. That Moody stuff did not help, let alone the carnage in bond land, but I thought that could all just lead to a quicker play here, and if it doesn't work out, it's going to be about 30 days, 45 days till we get around that whole ex-dividend play again, and then wherever this stock price is at, like 2 weeks ahead of ex-dividend, I think we could start looking at the next sort of play around that. So if I do fail on the flip shares, I'm planning to work into that, not ready to buy on the long term yet. And was it good or bad? Like I said, it was painfully mediocre. Again, they did not fail. I hot take, I think the Steward stuff and Prospect may be behind them after a couple of quarters. That's what they're making it sound like, and they have other things, so it wasn't as bad. Again, they're definitely performing less than last year. They're not forecasting any growth. They were very conservative. It's like there was bad to it, but it wasn't failure bad. Again, take a look at the chart and how this thing has moved. It's actually still down on the year, even after that rally. You know, that rally brought you to break even on the year, to give you an idea. So it's like, I don't think they did that bad, even for what they're yielding. It just, that doesn't make sense. Again, some people are still worried. I said wait for the upgrades and downgrades, but then again, I don't think they did that good. This was not a blowout. I don't think it's gonna, that was not the number I was looking for a squeeze. Like I said, it was painfully mediocre. So like the play, gonna be riding that. You're gonna hear about it a lot, but that is play number 2. And then finally, this last play I actually really like, VKTX. So this one's related to Ozempic and all of that diabetes stuff. The other thing is called like Wegovy, I think. But Eli Lilly, they had a trial today. It was like Eli Lilly or Novo. I think it was Novo, and Eli Lilly was the sympathy. Again, Novo is the maker of Ozempic. That's why their chart looks unreal. Again, take a look at Eli Lilly. They don't even move like this, but they have a competitor as well, and they're doing good. So VKTX, they're doing good. Again, even the Weight Watchers, they have benefits to Ozempic. Dexcom, which is related to diabetes, they sold off on this news. It was huge today. So we made a play on this today. I grabbed 500 shares at 13.37 or 47, so we're up almost $1 a share. I've been waiting to play this. I had the daily chart up there because this got called out. J-Alt was calling this out at like $6 when they first got the approval, and they've just been killing it. They were up 100%. They fell back down here, so you're still at a very risky spot. So I still decided I'd go with it, but I do want to get out of it. We almost have a good profit, but if this does keep up, especially especially if the market wants to focus on other things. Maybe they get their own pocket, and that's something I'll even say. We were talking about the small caps. I'm still in the Rite Aid play, but even like MPW is a smaller play. Even Lyft is a little cheaper, and some of these plays, I mean, like we've talked about, if things get volatile, people are trying to figure things out. If things get more volatile, people might only focus on small caps on some days, so you're getting this weird like volatility hedge, but don't fall in love with it and understand. That's why they call it a rug pull, because it could get pulled at any given moment, and some of these aren't as liquid. So that's the catch-22 or the risk to reward when you go after some of these plays. So keep that in mind. But those are the main plays. As far as everything else, I sold out BioMarin at like 90.05. It went up like another 75 cents. Could have made another $500, but I made about $400 or $500 off of that. Not too bad. I got out of my Disney shares. Then they announced all of this news after hours. I got $1 per share. I made $300. My pre-earnings play, I sold out because I said, hey, this thing was up 1% and went up another 1%, but I was like, maybe this was the move. I was up $3 a share, lost those gains, and I was back up $1 a share day before earnings. I didn't want to make that decision tomorrow, so I said, let me take it, and then we'll go from there. And then they announced a bunch of news related to like ESPN and Penn and all that, so still like it. Shout out to Long Term. Their earnings is going to be tomorrow after the bell, and I'm sure we'll find out a lot more, and that will be a good play to play. So I hope you're ready, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to not forget about the P word. Maybe you could push Peter. No, you don't. Is that weird, or am I getting weird? All on priorities. That's it, bro. We've had a lot of talks. We've talked good and bad. We've talked long-term, short-term. I hope you are seeing the opportunities on all end. And understand, there's no opportunity unless you get the long-term first. But that's what I'm saying. Priorities. Even let me throw in some diversification in there too. But Chad, stay focused. List your priorities. Focus on them. And remember, you will become what you think about, and what you become is more important than what you get, and what you become will attract. I'm just going crazy. So, Chad, I love you. God bless you all. Drink that water. Stay hydrated, healthy, everything, and that's it. We're done. That's it. I already brought the hype and awkwardness. I'm ready to go, Chad. That's it. So, God bless you all. I love you, and welcome to the middle end of 2023, but it's almost ending. So that's it, Chad. It's game time. You see, this is champion, bro. Champion. I don't know. No, I was chewing on the shirt too. It might have looked weird, but you know what I'm saying. Let's go, bro. Horn. That's it. Stop it. I already